Hello and welcome to the Ganru Show. I'm Golda.
And I'm Ganru.
And this is a podcast that's just like hanging out with your two best girlfriends.
We'll tell it to you like it is and not hold back. It's like Costco without all the people.
Oh, yes. It's like having Amazon Prime delivered without someone stealing your packages.
And it's like Black Friday without being trampled on. Wouldn't that be nice?
Oh, and without the judgment from your friends and family.
They too good for Black Friday? Who's too good for Black Friday?
Apparently, they are.
Some people who value their dignity. Not me.
Could care less.
Could care less. All right, with that, let's
get started.
So first up, we're going to talk about the best thing we heard this week. Golda, what's the best thing you heard this week?
The best thing I heard this week actually came from a friend of mine. We were volunteering at Project Angel Food here in Los Angeles. And as we were making our crafts and our bracelets that they sell at Project Angel Food to help with costs of running that operation,
wow.
We were talking about a farm that my friend went to earlier that week. And the name of the farm is Apricot Lane Farms. It's located in Moore Park, which is Moore Park, California, which is about 40 miles north of Los Angeles. And it was created or founded by a documentary filmmaker named John Chester and his wife, Molly, who is an organic chef.
Oh, okay.
So they bought this sort of dilapidated farm that had been, the soil was dried up, and it was just 200 acres of just, why would you want to buy this farm? But they had a vision to create this farm that basically supports itself. So the way that it's described is it's a farming utopia of fruit trees, vegetables, wildlife, livestock, insects, and they're all working together to
like
benefit
an ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly. They have their own ecosystem there. So they're all working together to benefit the soil and ultimately the food. So one of the things that they love to do there, that they're trying to encourage other farmers to also follow them, is biodiversity in how you grow food. And one of the things that they mentioned was you never realize how much work it takes to grow food. Usually if it's grown really quickly, there's sacrifices and reasons why that is, right? Pesticides and chemicals and things like that. And in this farm, they never use chemical sprayers. They never use pesticides. Their animals have no hormones. They don't inject hormones into them, no antibiotics, no GMOs. It's pretty amazing. And considering that it's so close to us, because we're here in Los Angeles, definitely when I read about it. Oh, another thing is Oprah Winfrey on Super Soul Sunday actually featured them on her show as well. So Apricot Lane Farms.
And do they provide some of the supplies for Project Angel Food?
No, that was just separate. It was just I was volunteering along with my friend, and we were just talking about this place.
Oh, I see. But Project Angel Food is also a very cool organization, right?
Yes, they
Can
are.
you describe a little bit about what they do?
Yes, what they do is they cater to individuals. Initially, they cater to individuals with HIV/AIDS, patients who may not have family or friends that can help them and support them. But they have since branched out to individuals with serious illnesses in addition to HIV and AIDS.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, I don't want to diminish Apricot Lane Farms.
Yeah.
But when you were talking about taking something dilapidated and renovating it and producing something biodiverse, it kind of reminded me of We Bought a Zoo, the straight-to-video movie with Matt Damon.
Oh, my gosh.
I Bought a Zoo? We Bought a Zoo? I don't know.
I've not seen this movie.
It was a flop.
Oh.
Sorry. I know Matt Damon's a bazillionaire. Not like he cares, but
It didn't do well, huh?
It did not do well. So I'm so glad Apricot Lane Farms is much more successful than Matt Damon's venture.
You know,
To the-
I guess biodiversity farms as a topic in Hollywood is probably not
As
as
attractive.
sexy as like Fast and Furious. You know, like
think it is.
speeding cars
I
or
don't think it is.
yeah,
It's way more valuable, but
absolutely.
entertainment value is not as high.
Yeah, nobody wants to see bees dying in the movie theater. You know, they don't want to see, you know, a cow giving birth in a field with ladybugs around them.
That's not
That's
like
not
400
box office
million
gold.
No, it's not 400 million box office opening, right?
Yeah, so Matt Damon, your heart was in the right place, but maybe save it for the checkbook.
Sorry. I tried once to start a little garden in my patio of my townhouse.
Yeah, how'd it go?
Not exactly prime real estate there.
Okay, what were you trying to grow?
Just some cucumbers.
Oh,
That would be a good start, right?
yeah. So what
So
happened?
I don't have much surface area to work with, and there's lots of fences. So there's, sort of not the best lighting, and there's a big old air conditioning unit right there, and it's hard to water that spot. I grew one cucumber.
Oh, okay.
I harvested
It really
crop.
popped out.
a crop of one cucumber. So I was gonna say I personally know how difficult it is to grow food.
Wow. Well, you
Right.
got one. That's really good.
But I couldn't feed
Did
it.
you eat it?
Oh hell yeah!
How was it? Was it
Tasted
delicious?
Delicious.
See?
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's because you made sure the conditions were as optimal as possible, and you didn't put any pesticides. I'm assuming.
Nope, not
right?
at all. Mm-hmm.
And you watched it, and you cared for it, and you attended to it for that one cucumber.
Exactly. So I really
That's
appreciate
great.
people who have the ability to feed a city,
Yeah,
not just one person one time.
yeah, and they have to see the cycle of life too. These farmers that they probably don't share with anybody really on a daily basis. You know, with citizens of the world.
That's true. They don't share the hardships.
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you, Apricot Lane Farms, and all the farms out there that are doing good work and helping us thrive with our food.
That's an amazing thing you heard this week. So my thing that I heard this week, not really related, but somewhat related, I guess, health-wise. So I was having tea with my friend Liz, our mutual friend Liz, who we
Love Liz.
love Liz. And
Fantastic actor as well.
Elizabeth Pan.
IMDb.
Look it up.
Look it up.
Pan. So her and I had scheduled a tea time together, and she invited her college friend Bev. And Bev is like me; she's in her 40s, and she has a daughter, and she has turned into, probably in the last 4 or 5 years, a CrossFit nut.
Wow.
Wow!
Wowee.
Exactly.
Now, what is CrossFit?
CrossFit is a cult like. I obviously do not attend this gym, but it's a cult like gym membership, which it's best you do your own research. This is my take, which incorporates high intensity interval training and weightlifting in a communal and cult like environment.
Oh, so people are really serious about this way of working out.
Absolutely.
CrossFit.
Why not let peer pressure work for you to get you into the best shape of your life, right?
Yeah, I guess that's good peer pressure.
It's good. It works
Yeah.
for you. Yeah. But anyways, her friend Bev, approaching 40, she's like, I'm kind of putting on some weight. I'm not in the best shape of my life. She was never super athletic from what I know.
Yeah.
She endured a month of CrossFit because of Groupon. And then, I know, Groupon gets you every time. And then they extended her membership one more month at the Groupon deal price just to get her hooked, because it took her 2 months to actually, for the endorphins to kick in and for her to see that she was actually improving. So this woman now in her 40s can do 5 pull-ups.
Wow. That's a lot, right?
I can't even do.
I don't even know what a pull-up is. That's how behind I am. A pull-up, I'm assuming, is like
You hang on a bar. Exactly.
pulling, got it.
Yourself up by your arms, your body weight.
Using your arms or upper body strength only.
Exactly. And she doesn't do the thing where you kick, because some people kick or do a little hop to try to
kind of catapult you.
Exactly. There's a name for that, like kick-ups or kip-ups or pick-ups or something.
And that's cheating. Is that cheating?
It is a different style of pull-up, but she can do the
very PC with a CrossFit.
Yeah. But they just hangs there. Dead hang. Pulls herself up 5 times. She can do that.
Wow. In a row?
Yes.
Good for her.
Oh my God, that's amazing. And of course,
for her.
She's ripped. Her body's amazing. I don't even know how much she can lift, deadlift, whatever, clean and snatch. Have you heard of a clean and snatch?
I don't know what that is. Is this another exercise?
What kind of
term?
Yes.
This is why I don't know what it is.
Do you know what
Ask me about succulents.
She loves
I love succulents. Anyway.
Do you know what a PR is?
Public relations?
Oh, good guess. It's personal record.
Oh, okay.
These are all terms I learned from
Holy
her
cow.
talking about CrossFit.
Oh,
but anyways,
boy.
She's an amazing person. Just hearing about her physical transformation. It was a mental and physical transformation because you gotta go through some grueling shit.
Yeah.
To be able to do 5 pull-ups, right?
And has she been on this for very long?
I think she's been doing it for a couple of years.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So she's stuck to it. It's not like she just started and she's just excited about it. She actually has done it for a while.
6 days a week.
Ah!
Yeah, exactly.
How long do you CrossFit? Is it like
it's
10 minutes? Huh? An hour a day for 6 days a week?
Yes.
I find this very, very surprising and why people would do it. But I know that there are people out there that would be like, yes, so what?
Yeah. But
I do 7 days a week at 5 hours a day.
Right. Exactly. And it's amazing that she can maintain her level of fitness with just 1 hour a day, if you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, what am I?
You don't think? I mean, that's a lot.
I'm on Instagram 1 hour a day. I could be doing a kick up or pick up or something. I could be doing 10 snatch and cleans.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could be reaching my own PR in weightlifting.
So did talking to her motivate you to want to do CrossFit?
Not really.
Not really?
I've heard horror stories. I've heard of people
like what?
Throwing up in their first class.
Really?
Passing out, injuring themselves. But these are like the worst case scenarios. So when you are entering into CrossFit, they will ease you in. So I did say I would go to an introductory class. Okay, Bev?
That's good.
All right, I'll be there.
Introductory class for an hour.
Yes.
It's 1 hour. You can't do like introduced. You can't be introduced to it for like 10 minutes.
You want the introduction?
Like a trailer, like a movie trailer. You know, like they just give you like a taste.
A taste?
You actually have to do the whole thing for an hour?
I don't think there's an introduction to the introductory class. I think it's just the class and you go. But I'll let you know once I take it.
That's great, Wanru.
But you know what? It just goes
Health
to show.
and wellness. Very, very important.
Yeah.
Oh, what were you going to say?
Oh, it just goes to show how much you can do with yourself if you really apply yourself incrementally. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Good for you. Well, we'll want to hear how that goes and what your thoughts are to the CrossFit. But good for you. I'm very curious how that's going to go.
I hope it's better than my cucumber. And those were the best things that we heard this week.
So for our main topic today, we'll be discussing how to deal with difficult people.
Ooh, that is a thorny subject, but so relevant, right?
Yeah, in an ideal world, everyone would get along and everyone would have the same interests and everybody would just be holding hands, singing songs.
Right.
But that's not our world.
It isn't.
No.
I can't remember the last time I held hands or sang songs with anyone.
Oh,
Wanru. That's sad, right? But it's okay. Oh, but we can still be happy without
those things.
Without those things,
and with dealing with these difficult people.
If we can learn how to deal with difficult people. So,
yes.
What are your tips? What advice would you give?
Oh, man. This is something that I'm still trying to figure out because I talk to a lot of people in what I do every single day from all walks of life. So, the chances of me meeting difficult people is very high on a daily basis.
Regular.
So
So you're an expert.
I'm trying. And one of the things that that I would advise is the first thing that I would advise is that if someone is coming at you, so whether it's in an aggressive situation or they're just annoying, they're just annoying people, the first thing to do is to turn whatever emotion you have that's hitting you and start looking inwardly. And
There's one piece of hair that's just hanging from your mouth. Those of you who are not watching the
so
video
thin.
can't see it.
She's just miming. There's no hair there. Thank you, Ganru. Ganru just grabbed a strand of hair from my mouth and flicked it over her shoulder to the left, like good luck.
What a difficult
Like salt.
strand of hair that was. We dealt with it. We just directly dealt with it. But sorry to intrude.
No.
You were saying.
Thank you for doing that. Thank you, Ganru. That's what we do for each other. So the first thing I would say is if you are... Yes, turn inwardly and, try to remain calm and focused.
Great.
Okay.
Great advice.
So there's not a whole lot that you can do about them, but there's a lot that you can do for yourself. So try and center yourself. I know it's difficult and stay composed, stay calm. And interestingly enough, a lot of times when you are calm, that tends to rub off on the person who's the aggressor.
Totally.
Right? So they might take it down a couple of notches.
Because they have nothing to react against or to.
Exactly. The other thing I would say is...
By the way, if I may just piggyback on yours. Because yours is very similar to mine.
Okay.
Which is that when you are confronted with a difficult person, you need to practice a little bit of detachment. If it's getting intense, if the emotions are coming out and it's getting ugly. And so it's so easy to say that. So I have some tips.
Yeah, how do you practice detachment?
Okay, so one way that I do is, you know how when a kid acts like a little shit?
Yes.
Like he throws good things on the ground or he doesn't want to eat or he's having a tantrum.
Yep.
I mean, you want to smack him or do something.
All the time.
Or her. You have so many inappropriate reactions.
Yes.
But as an adult, you're like, no, I'm an adult. I'm the adult. Yes. I have to take charge of this situation and not smash him over the head with this Aquafina bottle, which is what I really want to do right now.
I really want to trip the kid.
Oh,
I want to trip the kid.
Oh, gosh.
But I'm not going to do that.
But I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm the adult.
Yes.
And I'm actually doing a disservice for this kid because this kid will turn into a horrible monster if I do this. He might become a psychopath or a sociopath.
Yeah.
Whereas if you teach him that, look, we can have an adult, a peaceful resolution to the situation.
Yes.
They turn into a normal person.
Yes.
So number one, if the person's being difficult, just view them as a child and think, how would I treat a child? Because this person is clearly emotionally undeveloped. If they're difficult, they're usually emotionally thwarted, impotent. I have to think of all these negative words. You can see I'm really into this. They have emotional difficulty. So you have to just realize you're going to be the more emotionally mature person in this. So you do not react, you detach a little bit.
Yes. Something that my sister told me a long time ago that I have carried with me for many years since she told me when I was going to her early in my career and I was saying, oh my gosh, so-and-so and so-and-so, and oh my gosh, I have to work with such and such. And she would just listen to me patiently and she would say to me very matter-of-factly, she would say, Golda, why are you spending so much energy on this person? Do not make that person your project.
Ooh. Oh,
so good.
Let's bookmark that.
Yeah.
Making someone your project, because I'll go back to one of my tips as well.
Yeah. So when I think about like a difficult person, like inside my head, I'm practicing being calm and patient.
Oh, awesome.
And then I'm kind of giving myself a mantra of, you're not my project. You're not my project. You're not my project.
You're not my project.
And interestingly enough, saying that mantra is a form of meditation.
It sure is.
And it does kind of help you get grounded and get a little bit more calm.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's like a sub tip, actually, which is to have a mantra. Maybe
Yes.
something you can say to yourself in those moments, right?
Yes.
Another analogy I have, so I have the adult-infant analogy. Another analogy I have, which might sort of lighten the situation,
Sure.
is you are Jane Goodall.
Okay.
You're Jane Goodall. You're the primatologist.
Can you expand on that?
Jane Goodall is a very famous Hello, right? Everyone knows this. She's a
Yes.
primatologist. She
With
studied
the apes,
chimpanzees.
chimpanzees.
Her specialty was the chimpanzees.
Okay.
And
like in Africa.
actually, I don't know where she was at.
Let's just say Africa.
Africa. And she's this beautiful,
Probably
you've
not.
seen her, right? She's this beautiful English rose,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
And she studied anthropology, and she was assigned to go study the chimpanzees for all her life. And
Okay.
she followed through. I mean, she's still an advocate for these chimps. So let's say the chimps misbehave, right? Like,
Okay.
they're throwing shit. They're like,
They're grooming you when you're not supposed to be groomed, or you don't feel like it.
all right, they might be touching you or pushing you or being aggressive or, baring their teeth. Chimpanzees
Or
do
throwing poop from their butt
that. Right, yes.
at you.
Right. Aggression.
That's an aggressive act, I would say.
right. So
Yeah.
Jane Goodall doesn't be like, I can't even say it. Jane Goodall would never throw poop back at a chimpanzee. I can't even say it because that's too undignified, because Jane Goodall is
She's
this beautiful English rose, and she's the most elegant. She's like one of my icons. She's elegant, intelligent, graceful. She's like the Grace Kelly of the African forest. This
And again,
lady-
we're assuming this is in Africa.
we're assuming-
Let's just go with it.
let's go with
Let's just go with it.
Okay, so she knows she's being attacked. Sometimes her life is in danger. What
Yes.
she does is she protects herself, and she's still an observer, so she observes,
Okay.
but keeps herself safe, but observes. She doesn't emotionally react.
Okay.
So when someone's misbehaving, they're an ape, and you're Jane Goodall. Just remember that. You're
Okay.
better than them.
Yeah,
Don't
don't
engage.
don't hurl the feces.
No.
Don't do it.
Don't engage.
Don't even think about it.
Agreed. Right.
So instead, you should what?
detach. Or make sure you're safe.
'Kay.
Right? Emotionally or physically.
Okay.
Create a little distance. And then observe them, much like Jane Goodall would with an ape.
Got it.
Okay, that's the first part.
Okay.
And it's very similar to what you said, which is stay calm.
Yes.
So my tip and her tip, same.
Okay.
Okay.
I would also say that in situations where you're interacting with someone who might have kind of a heightened, almost a little dangerous situation where they're a little too aggro, maybe some yelling, maybe some in your face kind of spewing. If you're in those types of confrontations, then I would say a good diffusion tactic is to ask questions. I know it sounds, I'm laughing even saying it.
I thought you were going to say like boop their nose. Like if they're in your face, like boop.
Oh, you're going to get your ass kicked.
Oh, no.
Don't do that. Don't do that. No,
Don't do that.
Instead, ask questions. For example,
Okay.
they're all up in your grill. They're saying all this bad stuff to you, swearing up and down the street here. What you should say is you should ask them a question, because guess what? You ask them a question, they're going to stop. And the natural tendency is to listen, stop, and think about it.
Okay.
So,
Let's do a little role play.
Sure.
You know I'm going to be the out of control.
You're going to be the aggressive guy or girl.
And I'm going to talk about something that actually that personally ticks me off.
Okay.
So I'll have a lot of material.
Okay.
Are
Go
you
for
ready?
it. Yeah. Let's do it. Who is it?
Hey, it's your neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you parked in front of my garage again, It's very inconsiderate. I can't pull out. I can't pull out when you're parked there like that.
Does it feel bad to not be
Yeah,
able to?
it feels bad. It feels bad because I'm going to be late for work. I told you not to park there. Why? Why are you parked there?
I think
asking
that
you a question.
I think that you're asking me about your inability to pull out. Is that right?
I'm so confused by your question.
So here we go.
I'm so
Exhibit
confused.
A here. Exhibit A here is that they're all up in a tizzy, and then you're calm, right? You're all calm and you're grounded. And then you ask them a question, piggybacking off maybe a sentence that they just expressed, and you confuse them
My confusion
to a point
is with
where now she's laughing.
is with the grammatical structure of that question.
Sure. You work with
It
what
was-
you got.
It was almost like a statement that turned into a question. I was just so confused.
Yeah. So here we go.
worked.
A byproduct of asking the question is you confuse them
It worked.
so much
Look
that
at me.
they forgot about the parking situation.
Look at
And
me.
you probably lowered that aggro energy a little bit too. See?
Wow. Amazing.
Ask a question. Ask a question.
Okay.
So that's in those extreme, like, confrontational situations.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. What about you? You have any other tips to handle difficult people?
Wait, so those were your 2 tips?
Oh, I got a couple more.
Okay, so your first one was
Stay calm
stay calm. Your second one was
is ask a question.
that's a good question.
Or here's a variation of that.
Confuse them with
Ask a question, confuse them. Or you know what? Change the topic. Change
the topic. How would that work? Because your car is blocking my car. How is that going to help?
Hey, I saw your rose garden just the other day. It's looking good.
I don't care about the roses. I'm going to be late for work. Can you please move your Prius?
Absolutely. I was just going to ask you if I
And you know
could
what?
snip one of your roses.
No.
Because I really want to grow some of my own. And I read this article about putting the rose stem in a potato.
What?
And it helps propagate roses.
Oh, man.
Little known fact. See,
Just-
further the confusion. Just go down the rabbit hole.
Just say wacky things to
Yeah.
throw them off their game
Yeah, and then run.
and then run. And then go move your car.
So it's enough of a distraction
I
so
understand.
that you see what I'm saying?
I understand.
It's just a tool in your tool shed that you can use. So you pick the tool that you need for the appropriate scenario. So that's one.
Okay.
What about you? Any other ones?
All right. So my first tip was, I don't know how useful it is, but this is what I generally do. And I don't want to lie,
Okay.
which is I generally avoid difficult and negative people. I try to minimize my interactions with them as much as possible. I keep it light, friendly, but detach.
Gotcha. So you're sort of you're selecting ahead of time.
Absolutely.
So you don't put yourself in situations where you will even be interacting with difficult people.
Absolutely.
So what do you
because-
do in situations where you're forced to work with someone, for example, at work or on a project, or maybe you're volunteering somewhere,
Or your family member?
or your family members?
Right.
Oy.
So in
Yeah.
general, I know that everybody only has a certain amount of patience and goodwill towards others. And you got to take care of your own happiness
Yes.
and mental health, right?
Yes.
So if you think about it as, oh God, I got to preserve my mental health and my energy for
Yes.
things I really care about or just for my general happiness, you're going to whittle down your interactions with annoying and difficult people as much as possible. And I used to
Okay.
feel bad. I want to give them more of my time. Then I realized, maybe I just realized right now, you ain't my project.
Sure.
You ain't my project.
Yep.
If I gave you all of my energy, all my resources, you would still be a very negative and difficult person.
Yes.
And I would be drained and you would be 2% better. Oh,
Yes.
fantastic.
And I think
Right.
that what I'm hearing too here is that you have to think about the big picture, which is really your sanity and your well-being.
Absolutely.
And you know, you don't have time for that. You don't have time for those difficult people.
No one has time for anybody
Yes.
that is hurtful and mean and negative.
So you can preemptively
Yes.
avoid these difficult people, you know, in scenarios where you're not working with them or they're not your family or any of those types of situations. But you
Absolutely.
can preemptively you won't even go down that road
Right.
with
Just
people.
Keep the interaction neutral, light, positive, because you can't escape without acknowledging them. You can't be like covering your face and just walking right by them. That doesn't work either. Right?
Right.
Because that's not a normal human interaction.
Right.
Or if someone calls you and texts you, just keep it light, positive, brief.
So what do you do in a situation where you're like at a party, for example, and maybe you meet a new person and that person seems relatively okay
That's great.
in that first interaction?
Okay.
Have you been in scenarios where they might seem relatively okay at first, but then they end up being difficult?
Being psychopath?
Yeah. Has that happened?
It has, right? So then what happens is you can initiate a friendship, and if it's not going so well, maybe you can pull back a little bit. Again, keeping it light, neutral, positive, not investing too much.
So you're going to ghost them?
I prefer breadcrumbing, where you drop little nuggets along the way.
We've talked about this,
We've
I feel
talked
like.
about this. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just try to be respectful, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think it's self-preservation.
Yes.
So those are in the scenarios where you can avoid someone.
Yes.
Avoid them.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And then part 2 of my tip was what to do if you can't avoid that difficult person. If that person is your supervisor or manager or a member of your family or just any person that you have to deal with on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So the first tip in that scenario was the detachment, which we talked about, which is just to detach and observe like Jane Goodall and just treat yourself like I am the Queen Elizabeth.
You are the priority in that scenario.
Right. And I have to be gracious no matter what.
Yes.
Queen Elizabeth cannot stoop down to
Yes.
what the commoners are doing. She has to maintain her royal dignity. So
Yes.
try to preserve your dignity. And then the more advanced step, and this will be step 3, and it's
Okay.
a very difficult thing. I still am practicing this, which
Okay.
is now finding the right reaction to neutralize what they are doing. So, for example, if they are just extremely negative and going on, I might try to cut them off and just limit the amount of negative things that they're saying. Just saying,
Yes.
okay, let's wrap that up. Let's talk about something more positive.
Yes.
If they're criticizing you, just say, acknowledge it and say, the things you say are hurtful
Yes.
and it makes me uncomfortable to talk about it. Can we talk about it when you're less emotional or when I'm more open to talking about it?
Yes.
So these are all sort of very emotionally neutral things to say. It's like, this is what's happening. As an observer, I'm observing this. This would be my suggested corrective action, right? That's a very advanced technique. It's very hard not to fall into the patterns that we do. Like, me and my mother, she'll say something, it'll trigger something, I'll flare up, she'll say something, it's just this triggering knee-jerk response. So by observing, detaching, you're already breaking that reflex.
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, let's not do this pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just break this cycle right here. And if you do that, you're already like way ahead. Then you go, what step can I take so we take a new path?
Yeah.
So we don't circle back to the same place.
Yeah.
Where's the new place we can go?
Yeah. I feel like sometimes when you're in the heat of the moment, that it can be a runaway train,
Yep.
right? You start yelling out things, they start yelling out things, and you start bringing out stuff from the past. They start bringing out stuff from the past. And then
Oh, yes.
it just gets really ugly really, really fast. And then you don't go anywhere. Nobody wins.
Right.
Nobody wins. So
Right.
to your point, it's, rerouting the conversation so that you're not on this off the
Right.
rails
Right. And
conversation.
it's for yourself, especially because we do interact with a lot of the same difficult people over and over again. It's realizing what always happens. All right, when the train gets run away, what happens? Number 1, the conductor gets in the train. Number 2, he's not paying attention. Number 3, he doesn't put on the brake, and you're like, runaway train, I see it coming. So next time you're like, I'm not going in the train station. Maybe next time you're like, okay, I can go to the train station. And if it's that conductor, I'm not going to go on that train. Just
Right.
recognizing.
Or here's a gift shop. I'm going to go to this gift shop real quick.
Are you trying to distract me, Golda? Are you trying
Then I'm going to talk about bees and ladybugs.
And
I'm going to confuse you.
cows giving birth. Have you ever seen a cow give birth?
On Super Soul Sunday, I have.
Right. So just recognizing for yourself, those warning signs, like I'm going down the same path.
Yes.
We're going to have this same interaction.
Yes.
How do I avoid that? And
Yeah.
what happens is if it's a difficult person, like in your job, you come across many different types.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is you're going to may not be so good at handling a situation that's new. But once you practice that, don't beat yourself up like that went horribly. You go, let me learn from that. Let me evaluate.
Mm-hmm.
How would I have done it differently?
Mm-hmm.
So you'll learn. And every difficult person, you learn how to handle them differently.
Yeah, actually, you bring up a good point, which is if you approach this with the thought that I'm going to be as flexible as possible and as open as possible, because I think that if you come into it with a predetermined way of approaching people or a predetermined way of approaching that person, that it can get you into trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Versus if you just kind of look at the big picture, be open to them and to what they're saying, and to stay calm and focused and detached, right, from what they're saying, but also be present too. I think those things are some good tips, at least, in your arsenal.
Great. So those were my 3. Did you have another one?
I think that a variation of what you said is one thing that I wanted to say is you can just ignore them. Just ignore them.
Absolutely.
You don't got to talk to them.
You don't have to. Also, if someone's dealing you blow after blow or saying things to incense you or purposely to instigate you, it's hard, but you don't have to say anything back.
No.
And it gives them no material.
Yeah, don't give them your power.
Yeah. And I have been in a situation where someone's put me down or teased me or kind of said something negative, and I could feel...
Do you want me to mess them up for you? You want me to... I know some people.
What would you do?
We'll talk about this offline.
Okay, right. Offline, Golda. So it happens, right? They're very small little things. They're not huge transgressions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember something that Eckhart Tolle once said, which is when you feel insulted, it's not you that's being insulted because you're not really any of those things that they say about you. It's your ego that's being insulted. And your ego is flaring up and be like, how dare you say that about me? Mm-hmm. Excuse me. I don't have a big second toe, although I do have a very long second toe.
Mine is the size of a string bean.
Your second toe?
Yes. It's very hard to find shoes. Thank you, Nordstrom. If it weren't for you.
She'd just be barefoot all the time.
And Rothy's.
Rothy's, our dream sponsor. Right. So, okay. So this person's criticizing your abnormally long second toe. Gives a shit in the grand scheme of things. It's your ego who's like, oh, what? How dare you say that? How dare you criticize my personal appearance? And Eckhart Tolle said, let it diminish you because they're actually doing you a favor.
Let it diminish you?
Let the critique or whatever diminish not you as a person, not the beautiful spiritual light of your being.
Okay.
Diminish your ego.
Let it diminish your ego.
Just say thank you, because now it would help me diminish my ego, meaning next time I won't flare up when you criticize something about me. I know. I don't.
That's really advanced.
That's advanced.
Because, one thing that I was going to say to not do in situations where you're dealing with difficult people and maybe that they're being aggressive towards you is nonverbals count. So as they're like going off on you, don't laugh. Don't smile.
Right.
While they're doing that.
That's true.
Because it might incite them.
Right. And then also don't shrivel up, right?
Right. Or don't even say stuff like, oh, I understand. Mm-hmm. I understand.
Right.
Because then they'll look at that as you're trying to,
you're
patronize them.
You're sort of agreeing with what they're saying, which you're
right.
not at
So
all.
In a passive aggressive way, you're actually going down that road when you should be going the Eckhart Tolle road.
Which is
don't let them diminish you or let them diminish your ego.
Right. Like basically, I guess.
But then what's the alternative? Then what happens? Then what happens after that?
He's saying don't let them get you all aggravated. Don't react
And instead,
stay present. And if they want to put you down, just say, go ahead, put me down.
really?
No, I mean, what was I gonna
Well,
say?
see, here's the,
This is a very complicated subject.
Yeah, so there's various scenarios. But what if they are insulting you and your family and
True.
everybody, and they're doing some really saying some offensive things, and and it's coming out of nowhere, or maybe what if they're like hurling lies at you?
So there's two types of transgressions, right? Or aggressive, negative things that people might say. Some people say things just to tease you. Like, oh, really? Oh, do you think that's a good idea? Or, they might say negative, snide things. So Eckhart Tolle, I think it works well in that, which is don't acknowledge those snide little things that actually are not truthful and are irrelevant. They aren't really truthful. Who really cares if your second toe is longer than your first toe, right? Like, oh, I can tell you're putting back weight on again. I thought you were so good on the diet, right? They're trying to cut you down a little bit, right? So you don't have to acknowledge it. Just say, yeah, I put on some weight. It's true. It's hard to maintain it. I think anyone who's tried to lose weight, you let them just deal with the facts, acknowledge it. Don't be like, well, look how fat you are. Have you ever lost weight? I don't think so. But that would be the normal reflexive thing to do.
Yes.
It's like, okay, you're trying to diminish my ego, let it go. But when someone is attacking you, and it's like now it's like nuclear level, right? Like you talked about.
Yeah.
Like
I've had several of those scenarios happen to me.
Where it's lies, malicious,
yes,
harsh, horrible.
Awful.
Then what is the technique then?
Is to confuse them. And to actually, another variation of this is you turn the attention away from yourself. So if they're hurling stuff at you, you turn the attention away from you and you turn it around on them, right? And you try to change the energy. So if the energy is super, super DEFCON 12 hyped up, then you need to help bring that energy level back down to a manageable level. So if you just keep at it with the same amount of intensity as the person who's hurling these things at you, nothing will come of it. True. And if something does come of it, then it will likely be negative.
Physical violence.
Bad.
Your car
will
be ran into. Your Prius will be run into.
Yes. So you don't want that. You want to diffuse the situation.
And I think maybe you can do the same thing that Eckhart Tolle would recommend, which is, okay, be present, listen to what they're saying, and address it directly.
Yes.
Like, you're upset right now.
Yes.
Tell me why you're upset. And they'll say reason 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Right? Just say, so you're feeling this. And the reason why you're feeling this is X.
Yeah.
So just sort of break down what they're feeling, because I don't think they even know sometimes, right?
Yeah, and sometimes if they vocalize it, if they verbalize those reasons why they're upset, in many ways that's actually very therapeutic for them. They start calming down as they are formulating the words in their sentences. They start coming down off the bridge a little bit too. So that's another diffusion technique as well, is asking them questions.
Yeah.
Right? And turning the attention back to them.
Totally. It kind of reminds me, it goes back to the child thing. It reminds me of my friend whose infant daughter was so upset because she was so hungry. And she had gotten past that point of hangry. She was super upset. She was crying for her bottle. She was just crying and crying and crying.
Yeah.
And her mother was like trying to prepare it. And when she finally gave it to her, she was drinking the bottle, but still upset that she didn't get it sooner. So it's like
she couldn't get over it.
She couldn't get over it. So she's actually
she got what she wanted, but she's still upset about it.
She's conflicted.
She's bitter.
She's like, I want to cry.
Yeah.
But I need to drink this milk because I'm so hungry.
Yeah.
It's like she's conflicted. She's actually preventing her own relief.
And enjoyment of the milk probably too.
Right, because she's still angry. And that's how these people are. Once you say, tell me how you feel, what's going on with you, it's like they're conflicted because they want to stay mad and they want to like unleash all their shit on you. I keep using shit because when I think of difficult people.
And Jane Goodall.
And Jane Goodall.
It's the chimpanzees.
This is the theme of the podcast.
Yeah.
But, people want to have that feeling where they're unleashing on you. And when you
It's like
begin,
a sense of satisfaction. I think some people feel like they don't want to be the one being bullied. So they are going to be the aggressor and be the bully.
right.
You know, there are people like that who would rather be the alpha in the situation. Because otherwise, you're the weaker one. Right?
Absolutely. But if you don't give them anything to react against, meaning if you don't react at the same level or shrink, if you just remain neutral and then actually begin to engage in a very neutral way as much as you can, it's like the milk bottles given to them.
Stand your ground.
Yeah, they start.
Stand your ground.
I need to drink this milk.
I had this one woman that I knew in a work situation come up to me out of nowhere and say to me, why don't you just say what's on your mind? Why do you have to be so passive aggressive? Now, mind you, all I was doing was grabbing a cup of coffee, putting my non-dairy creamer in that cup of coffee, minding my own business.
So you're probably in your own world. You're probably thinking like, what am I going to watch today? What am I going to eat today?
Yeah.
You're just doing your own thing, right?
Exactly. I was just thinking to myself, I'm going to go to Ralph's after work today. I'm going to start with the produce section and work my way over to the deli. That's all I was thinking about.
And she comes up to you.
And she was all up in my grill. I don't know. Maybe she had worked her, I don't know. I have no idea. And I'm not going to pretend to know.
Right.
I don't understand it. And she just went off on me, which I still don't understand. And my response to her, was, you know what you're doing right now? Question. And she's like, what? And I said, you're bullying me right now. I'm being bullied.
And you said it in that tone of voice.
Yeah. And I was very calm. And I said, you're bullying me. So I called her out on her behavior.
Wow.
I asked her a question first to stop her from whatever energy she had been carrying with her that day. And it made her stop. It made her stop her rant. And I was very calm. And she goes, excuse me. And then she went off and she broke down. She cried.
What?
Yeah.
What was her
True
reaction? What was her reaction when you said you're a bully? What did she say to you?
Her face looked like someone who was told something completely different than their reality. She looked so baffled.
Wow.
She looked so baffled. But I think because I said it in a way that it was my truth, and I said it in a calm way, and I looked at her like I was listening to what she was saying, and I was really trying to understand, maybe I did something to her, but I don't think I did. That she, I think she saw her reflection off of how calm I was and how, sort of extreme she was.
It's really funny because she was trying to portray you as a bully.
Exactly.
She's like, you're bullying me. And you're like, that's funny coming from a bully.
Yeah. Yeah. And it felt like that at the time, and I felt like that was a really effective way to diffuse that situation.
Wow.
Yeah. So, it was calling out the facts as I saw them and being calm, asking a question, right? And not meeting that level of intensity, as she was, because that way would never have gone anywhere. So that took a lot of energy. I'll tell you, that's no lie. Oof. That it was like, oh, it's so easy.
No, it's not.
I just didn't. I had to physically put in fractions of seconds, put myself in a headspace where I was like, okay, this is not personal. She's trying to make this personal. This is not about you. This is about her. Ooh. Do not make her your project. Do not make her your project.
Almost like do not engage. Do not engage.
Ask a question and then, state your truth.
Amazing.
And that's it. And that happened to work for that particular situation.
Right.
So every situation is going to be different. What we're hoping to do is give you some tools so that you can pull from any one of these. And there's plenty more out there, I know. But some from our own personal experiences that have helped us. Yeah.
And it's a practice. Like we said, you're not going to be perfect every time, but I think you'll learn something.
Yeah.
But if you don't bring awareness to this issue, you're going to be stuck in the same pattern. And girl, some people are crazy.
You don't got no time for that.
You got no time for that.
Moving on. You got a book to write. You got things to invent. Yeah. You got to take care of your kids, take care of yourself, take care of the people in your life. You got to hang out with your friends. You got all kind. You got too much good stuff.
Too much good stuff. You're Queen Elizabeth.
Too many good things to do.
You got to play with your corgis. You got to go horseback riding. You got to do side saddle horseback riding because you're Queen Elizabeth. Just remember that, okay?
Exactly.
All right, great advice.
Good luck with it.
Good luck.
Here is a segment of products we love. Someday this will come true. Dream sponsors.
Now, at this time in our podcast, we normally give acknowledgments to our commercial sponsors. Since we don't have any commercial sponsors for now, we're just going to talk about some companies and brands that we love. So, Golda, what is your dream or aspirational commercial sponsor?
Okay, I'm about to take it to a very real level here.
Whoa.
I'm going to take it to a very real level.
Realer? We haven't been real up to now?
Well, this is like next level real right now, which is a product that I particularly like that is to address, how shall I say, it's to help address those embarrassing situations when you really have to go number 2, maybe at work or in a public place, but you don't want the lingering scent of the lunch that you just had.
Okay. I think I know where you're going with this.
You know where I'm going with this?
On the count of 3, let's both say the product.
Okay.
Which I don't know what you're going to say, but I have a guess.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Poo-Pourri! Yes.
I knew it!
Poo-Pourri. Thank heavens.
Okay, I've been very curious. I know nothing about it. Do tell.
So let's give a situation fictitiously, for example.
Totally, just purely fictitious.
Theoretically, this would maybe happen to some people. Probably not me.
No, never to us.
Let's say that you are at work.
Right.
And you already went that morning. So you think you're done.
Right. And then you eat some tom yum ga.
What's that?
Coconut soup from a Thai restaurant. Tom yum ga.
For breakfast?
No, for lunch.
Oh, and so let's say you get you get some of that for lunch and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And let's say you go back to your desk and you're looking at your emails and you get this little rumble in your tummy.
Rumble, rumble, rumble.
You get a little pang.
Ding dong, ding dong.
Then you start to sweat.
Oh no. Oh no, those sweats. The cold sweats.
Then you start to clench. Then maybe a sound comes out of your body.
Cramping. Waves of hot and cold.
And then you're thinking, what now? Oh.
Uh-oh.
And you grab the bathroom key, go down the hall, listen by the door, see if anybody's there.
You guys have a key? Oh, that makes it very cumbersome.
It's so stressful.
It's cumbersome, right?
It's cumbersome. You just, it's that seconds matter in situations like this. You listen by the door, see if anybody's in there.
Hypothetically, because this is still a hypothetical scenario. Okay,
you
guys.
go in and the HR director is in there fixing her makeup.
Hypothetically.
And she's in there for quite some time. You're walking slowly
Oh God.
to an available stall, the furthest away from the door, the front door, or the bathroom door. And it just so happens that you have your Poo-Pourri in a spray.
Oh, how handy.
Lemon scent. So what you do is you spritz a couple of pumps of the Poo-Pourri fragrance inside the toilet bowl. And what it does is when you are ready to launch, when it drops into the ocean that is the toilet bowl with the Poo-Pourri in it.
You have to watch the YouTube video because Golda is trying to gesture with her hand right now to emulate the dropping of the poo.
Yes.
It's dropping.
She's like a care package. So it's released.
Okay.
And so you have in the toilet water with the Poo-Pourri in it. When the package actually hits the water,
it parts the water, but it goes underneath the water.
No, I don't know
What?
about that. I never look. I'm never in a situation where I can see that. I don't have like an all glass toilet with a camera.
Okay, let's not.
I have no idea. But anyway,
Let's not talk about the mechanics.
so
Magic happens.
so basically what happens is the Poo-Pourri neutralizes
Nice.
the odor of the launch package
Wow.
so that the HR director that's in the room, she may have heard something weird with a little bloop.
But she will never have smelled anything weird.
She will not think it. Maybe she thought that you dropped your phone in the toilet, not something else. So the Poo-Pourri neutralizes the odor. And here's the other thing. So you launch, you flush the toilet, you get out, and let's say the VP of operations comes walking in, hypothetically, and goes into the stall that you were just in.
Normally, it would be extremely incriminating, but in this instance,
It smells like an orchard.
amazing. It smells like Apricot Lane Farms, right?
Exactly.
And we're not putting Apricot Lane
There you
Farms down.
go.
We're saying that it smells good there. It smells like paradise, but
Yes. Yes.
Poo-Pourri can get you to that level.
Poo-Pourri can get you to that level. And here's another thing I heard about Poo-Pourri, which I have not tried, but I will, maybe. I don't know. They have a travel size.
Oh my God, how handy.
So when you're on a plane,
Oh my God.
you know how stressful that is.
Right.
You're cooped up in a plane and you just had a burrito.
Yes.
Bad idea, first of all.
Hypothetically, that was
Hypothetically.
the worst idea I've ever heard.
But you couldn't resist.
Right.
Anyway, they have a travel version as well.
And you know, in a plane, there's always somebody like right outside
Yeah.
of the door. Like they're waiting.
Yeah.
Because once that seatbelt sign gets turned off, everybody runs to the
Yep.
toilet and there's always a queue, right?
Yeah. Yep, exactly. So this will hopefully help eliminate that stress in going number 2 on a plane. In which case, I will say that I am going to be traveling in the coming week, so I will report back and let you know how that goes.
So you have not actually tried it yet.
Not the travel version.
How about the normal?
The normal version, yes.
Amazing.
It's magic.
All right. So I
What's
think
yours? Oh,
I was going to say, just to wrap up what you were saying.
yes.
I think as a service to those around you, you can spray once for yourself, launch, flush, and they should turn around and just spray that toilet one more time for the next person.
Yeah, at that point, I don't really care about anybody else.
Okay.
Let people think that the VP of operations, senior VP of operations, launched one. I don't care.
You don't care about her launches.
Yeah, she's. Everybody has access to this. This is not like a secret. Let her buy it.
Yeah. And by the way, another thing is the founder of Poo-Pourri is a female entrepreneur.
Ooh.
She's one of those people who kind of had a down point in her life where she really didn't know what she was going to do. And Poo-Pourri
Wow.
was her brainchild, her baby. She loves it. And you can tell there's
Yeah.
love in that brand. There's
Absolutely.
creativity in that brand, right?
A lot of specificity. in it.
Totally. And you can tell
Yeah.
one person came up with this idea and launched it. But not into the toilet, into the stratosphere, into Bed Bath and Beyond, where it can be available for you to buy.
Poo-Pourri.
Poo-Pourri. Oh, that's
Poo-Pourri.
great to
It's
hear.
the best. It's good stuff. How about you, Anru? What's yours?
All right, so my dream sponsor, totally unrelated to Golda, but it was kind of based off of our last segment when you talked about Ralph's.
Oh, yeah?
I would like to give some love to Ralph's.
Oh, that's nice.
It's like,
Why?
Tra-
Why?
thank you for asking why. Because Trader Joe is like that hipster, cute guy that texts you like once every couple months, and he's always flirting, and you think, oh well, maybe it'll turn to something serious, but it never does. Trader Joe's, as appealing as they are, they love to switch out brands on you and discontinue things that you loved, but the novelty keeps you coming back, right?
Right. They're the guy that the hipster guy that has really good stories of their travels,
Oh yes,
right?
but
Then
then
there's
he
nothing else.
then
underneath
he
that.
leaves for like 2 months.
Yeah.
You're like, WTF,
Yeah.
right?
But then it's like, but then they don't have like actual like marketable skills.
Right. Actually, Trader Joe's, we're underselling you because actually Trader Joe's is another one of my dream sponsors. But today, I give love to Ralph's.
What is it? What is it about Ralph?
So Ralph's is like that guy, like your coworker who's always had a crush on you, and he's always there for you, and he's so reliable, and he's such a great guy, but you don't feel like you have a lot of chemistry. But then somehow you always end up hanging out like on Friday night.
Oh, Ralph's is in your friend zone.
Yeah, Ralph's is in my friend zone, but it's because I have, emotional availability issues. So if I was smart enough, I would realize that Ralph's, aka friend zone coworker, is really truly the one I'm meant to be with, and that will truly make me happy. Because every time I go to Ralph's, I'm like, oh, I gotta go to Ralph's. What a chore! And I go there, and I am delighted.
What do you like at Ralph's?
They have everything and new things at the same time. So they've got the novelty of Trader Joe's. They've got kale chips, random weird things
Okay.
that you might want,
What
Snacks.
surprised you about what you can get at Ralph's that you got that you really liked?
Well, I just had a delicious lunch provided by Golda, and she got me wings from the Wings Bar. They have a
At
whole
Ralph's.
wings, self-serve wings bar with many different flavors of wings.
Well,
right?
this one there was somebody manning the wings.
Okay, all right.
Which I prefer because it's more hygienic.
way more hygienic.
But there were 3 different types of flavors. I didn't tell you that of wings.
Amazing.
I got the regular flavor for one row.
Delicious. Delicious.
And their fried chicken, forget about it.
Oh,
Forget about it.
they have rotisserie chicken.
So good.
Staple. They have the cut up chicken in case you don't want to be messing around with cutting up a chicken. And they have the fried chicken, which is it stays crispy. Mm-hmm. It stays crispy. I don't know how they do it.
And you know what I found there secretly like that I found there was sort of tucked away near the eggs?
What?
Is I found this small little booth and they had these tortillas in there, like the fajita tortillas. Mm-hmm. And they were low carb tortillas.
See, they have all that specialty stuff.
Who knew? I had no idea they don't have that at Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
Sorry about it.
Sorry. I mean, if you're gluten-free, if you're kosher, if you're celiac, whatever you are, they have that stuff. But they also have other things which Trader Joe's would never come through for you. Like mayo. Mm-hmm. Trader Joe's has weird mayo.
Yeah. And they only have like 3 different kinds. Oh my
Ooh.
God, we're so entitled.
Only,
I just caught myself saying
3.
they only have 3 different kinds of mayo at Trader Joe's.
But with mayo, there's only probably one brand that you're faithful to. And ketchup, there's only one brand I'm faithful to as well. I don't really want, Captain Joe's
Artisanal
ketchup with pickle brine or something.
Yeah.
I just
You
want
need all
Heinz.
those bells and whistles.
Yeah, I just want Heinz.
Yeah.
They always have Heinz, 2 for $5.
Oh, yeah. Then they have all those deals.
Mayo, 2 for $6.
Yeah.
The normal mayo.
I gotcha.
If you want to buy 1 lemon and not a bag of lemons, they have 1 lemon.
Like you can do that. You don't need the whole bag. They're
Yeah.
just going to mold.
Right. If you want to buy loose leaf lettuce and not although I keep putting Trader Joe's down, but it does some things really well. But if you want to buy a bag of mixed lettuce, you want to buy a head of romaine, although not right now because of E. coli.
Yeah, not right now.
But hypothetically, you can do that at Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
Oh, you can do that at Ralph's.
At Ralph's.
Did you hear what I did? I always put Ralph's in the friend zone, but not today. Because
She wishes Trader Joe's was more like Ralph's,
Exactly.
but with the excitement of Trader Joe's.
Exactly. But Ralph's, you are my dream sponsor, and you're perfect just as you are today.
Yay, Ralph's. Shout out to Ralph's Pasadena. Whoop, whoop.
Boop, boop.
And welcome to our next segment called Girl, You Got To, where we talk about things that, if we could drop little nuggets of wisdom your way, this is what we would want you to know. Wanru?
So this week, I say, girl, you got to cook your kale,
Ooh.
right?
Why?
Exactly. Right. It's controversial.
Cook your kale? Aren't you ripping the nutrients out?
You would think, right? So here's the thing. We're all not eating enough leafy greens. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I would agree with that.
Is that an accurate statement?
Yes, that is an accurate statement.
And salads are delicious. Salads are wonderful. But actually, certain leafy greens are better suited to be eaten raw. Like baby spinach.
Okay.
Baby kale.
Okay.
Romaine. Although not right now. Let me just reemphasize, not right now.
Give it some time.
Give it some time. There's other lettuces at Ralph's that I've seen, like green leaf lettuce, red leaf lettuce, escarole. Man, I can just go on and on.
Or
butter lettuce.
What is that lettuce that there's the roots still coming out of it? It's like live. They're like live lettuce.
And it comes in a big plastic container.
Yeah, and it's really expensive.
Butter lettuce.
Oh, that's butter lettuce. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's really tender.
Yeah. Endive, right? Things like that. So some of those, they're the baby versions of those plants, and they're much easier to digest and to chew. But certain leafy greens are really tough. And Chinese people, we always lightly saute or stir fry all of our greens. To eat a raw green would be like, oh my God, something is gonna bad. It's gonna happen to your digestive system. So I was listening to NPR. Lynn Rosetta Casper, she used to do a show about food and cooking, and she went into the history of kale. And kale used to be a type of vegetable that was stewed. They would put it in a stew.
Oh.
Or they would use it to line salad bars, because that thing, it never dies. Lasts forever. It was ornamental, right?
Okay.
It's like a shrub, you know? It's purely decorative. And then due to a few restaurants, they started to popularize kale in a salad. But these restaurants knew what to do. They would treat the kale by mincing it finely, rubbing it with plenty of oil, and massaging it. And then just put it in the fridge for like a day or two, so that the oil could break down that hard outer layer, that waxy layer of the kale. So if we at home just chop it up and eat it, it's really hard to digest. And some people get a lot of bloating.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
And actually, roasted kale and sauteed kale is delicious, especially if you take out that hard rib. You know how there's like a vein in there?
Yeah.
You could just cut that out or slice it out.
Just the leafy parts is what you would still keep, right?
Exactly. And Chinese people, like, again, we inherently know this. We put garlic and onion and maybe ginger, and we'll saute our greens and lightly salt them.
Sounds good.
And it's much more palatable and digestible. So if you're not, especially if it's for dinner and you're not feel like eating something cold, because you don't think it's going to suit your stomach, you know, and it's just a cold, miserable day, saute some vegetables, you know, just experiment. Escarole, Swiss chard, kale.
Yeah, and you could put some, if you want to vary it a little bit. I've seen sauteed kale with like bacon or prosciutto or some other kind of protein. And doesn't kale, isn't that like the superfood right now?
It absolutely is. Actually, all dark leafy greens can be considered superfoods. And, you know, every vegetable has, just like meats, they have a preparation which really makes them shine, right? So raw kale, that's not shining for anyone.
Yeah.
You got to massage it, or you got to saute it. So today, my advice is, girl, you got to cook your kale.
Awesome. Well, my girl, you got to, is very much fresh off the off me getting my labs done at my doctor's office.
High five for her labs.
Woo! And one of the things that they tested was my vitamin D.
Oh, really? Oh my God.
So come to find out that I'm a little low on vitamin D. And also, interestingly enough, as we age, especially for women, and especially for women who've never had children, your vitamin D levels can really get to a very low point. And where vitamin D is very important is it's a very important antioxidant. It also helps you with digesting food, digesting this really great kale, pulling the nutrients from that kale. If your digestion is not up to par, then, you know, you're not.
I have a question. Why is it that if you're a woman who has not bore children, then why is your vitamin D level worse than someone who has?
I believe when you are with child or when you've had kids, biologically your body tends to have more nutrients because it's, you know, you're trying to feed yourself and your child.
I thought like they would drain you like the leeches that they are. That's what the moms tell me. Okay, that's not my words.
I think actually it might be the other way around, where it's like biologically you require more nutrients because it's not just you anymore; it's you and your child. So you actually have more in your body, and for whatever reason, there's some consequences to that in a good way for people who've had children versus people who haven't had children. We haven't put our bodies through that, and we haven't been able to create those nutrients for ourselves or be able to absorb it in ways that a pregnant woman or someone with a kid may have.
And we're all vitamin D deficient because we don't get enough sunshine as well, right?
Yeah, we lather on the mineral-based sunscreen.
Mineral-based sunscreen?
Yes, we lather on the sunscreen. We don't get enough sun. And also the foods that we tend to not have enough vitamin D in our food. And
Sure.
I want to say, too, that usually vitamin D is helpful in preventing certain chronic diseases like diabetes and cancer and, all sorts of, high inflammatory diseases. So, girl, you got to get your vitamin D checked, and then you got to do something about it. What I'm doing right now, and I'm not condoning this in any way, this helps me personally, is I take a vitamin D supplement every single day. I've just recently started putting vitamin D spray with vitamin K as part of it under my tongue, and it supposedly helps absorb it into your body faster. So I've been doing that, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, girl, you got to get your vitamin D, and if not, get it on Amazon.
We will report back to let you know how her vitamin D absorption is going.
Yes.
Or we can just bear some children.
Yeah, then you're set.
You're set for
I don't
life.
think you're set, actually. I think you still need vitamin D even after.
You do. It's good for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it for our show today as we talk about how to deal with difficult people. So, Wanru, when you take a look at what we talked about today, what are you going to take away from hearing everything today?
Well, what will stick with me is your inspiring story of calling a bully out for being a bully and not letting yourself be reactive in the moment. And like you said, it doesn't have to be that the person is bullying you. It's just speaking your truth in the moment. You should be proud of that.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Wanru. Well, I think for me, my takeaway is that when you feel like you're in a situation where you're in front of a difficult person and someone's, down your grill, be like Jane Goodall. Be classy, elegant, and don't reach into your butt and take a poop ball and throw it at the person. Don't do that. Be classy.
And if they happen to fling poo your way, spray it with Poo-Pourri. Does it work airborne?
If it was raining while this was happening, then maybe the rain particles combined with the Poo-Pourri would help, but probably not on a dry one.
Wow. Okay.
That might be what they're developing right now. Who knows?
Why? My mind is
Poo-Pourri is
just
genius.
boggles by this. But yes, you don't have to get down and dirty to their level, right?
No, you don't. You don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take care of you.
Oh, I forgot. I have a second takeaway.
Yes.
Ask weird questions with weird grammatical structures. Hey, you know what? Start speaking in like a random language. If you know a second language, just bust it out.
Just do that. Just do gibberish. You will confuse the hell out of these people.
Right. Ask questions about their personal life, about their tastes in music and television, anything to throw them off their guard.
Exactly. And give you enough time to run.
Sound advice.
Well, that's it for our show, The Ganru Show. We look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you for spending time with us today. I'm Golda.
And I'm Wanru.
And if you do like this show, we'd really appreciate it if you give us a review, give us a thumbs up on Facebook, anything you can do. We'd love to hear from you. You can reach us by checking out our YouTube page, and we reply to everybody.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time.
Bye.
See ya. Ooh.